The golf swing, what really matters, part 3, the downswing. Let's get after it. Golfers, what is so hard about this? Let's talk about what just happened. All right, folks, that must have been a very reasonable downswing. Now, I hit my little 7-iron, 167 yards. It had 12 feet of curve to the left. Now, we have some numbers up here, and these numbers are sort of what the downswing is for. We've already talked about the windup. We talked about the transition move. Let's get this through impact. You will recall that the number one, right, seriously, folks, this sounds so dumb, but the number one goal of the downswing is to get through the spot where the ball lay. But what we do as golfers, we go, oh no, Dunigan, I will hit this ball, and we get all kinds of neat looking things that way. Well, remember, the goal is to project the ball to the target via this tool. The number one thing that we have to get over with is you have got to be paying attention to the tool. Without question, if you can't feel this thing, I have a video on that for you too, we're dead. We're dead meat. You don't know where it is. Now, what I've done is hit a golf shot. I've taken the tool and applied it through the golf ball. I have controlled the bottom of the swing arc, which is the number one thing that all this golf swing business should be about. And we're going to talk about that first. You've already heard about the transition, right? Getting it, kind of stepping into this golf ball. Well, why do we do that? Well, let's talk about this hot body of mine. Yes, I need to get my body oriented to help me deliver the golf club. Not just the big body, but the little army parts too, the little hairy things. When we know that this has to result in this golf club coming into the golf ball, clicking the ball, scraping, or even taking a divot out of the ground, that's about it. You can pretty much fall down after that. I used to do that, but I did hurt my arm where I would just hit full speed and stop dead. And that's really not a good science for you. That's the amount of force you have to apply to stop that thing cold is not good for your arms, wrists, or shoulders. It's not exactly that the finish is floating there, but we've got to get this clear. What the heck are we doing out here? Right. I've got to get this giant circle of this golf swing. Yeah, that's a little oversimplification, but not by that much. I've got to get this circle bottoming out somewhere. Okay, now wait a second. You can see this body moving already. Do you see that? There's a little shift. Oh boy, you might want to do this with your right hand only a little bit. There's a little shift in there. There's a little turn. And oh my goodness, a sequence. Shift and turn. I'll be darned. Now the lift portion, that's up. You push down. Actually, you don't really push down. You lower yourself so you can push up. Different thing for right now. But you would say that there might be two hugely different types of golfers. There are some golfers like Dustin Johnson who rotate amazingly well. They get this far open by ball contact, which old Dunigan probably is not going to pull off. And I've spent quite a bit of time working on this ability to rotate, and I can do it. It takes a lot of work, but rotating to help the circle bottom out in front of the golf ball is only one way. There's another way. Oh my goodness, it's the shift. So in both cases, shifting, turning help the club to bottom out after ball contact. Those are wonderful things. But you say, well, Dunigan, what about my driver? Well, my driver, I'm going to widen my stance outside my shoulders, put the ball wicked far forward in my stance. So by the time I do those things, guess what? I'm still hitting up on it. I do believe if you're not hitting up on your driver, you better have a lot of speed because you're giving up some distance, folks. And by the way, hitting up on your driver, if we look from this view, hitting up on your driver is not dependent on the flatness of your club only, right? You can have a really steep, I think I did that in a different video, really steep club shaft and still manage to hit up on the golf ball. So let's just get that out of the way. Well, are you real well primed to turn? Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going back. I have my beautiful windup. And I'm telling you, folks, every single time I hit a golf, I'm paying attention to my posture. I like to slouch. Don't do it. Good posture helps me turn better and move faster. So from here, I'm going to unwind more. I wound up here and unwind. Now, the faster I unwind, the more the face will open. Folks, there's too many degrees of freedom. Huh? Watch this. This isn't even moving yet. So let's get rid of this idea that you square the face with the turn. Only person squaring the face with the turn is Dustin Johnson, who's got a super shut face, because that actually works with him being able to open so fast. No, turning this way, all things being equal, will effectively keep the face open a little bit longer. Just like all those folks who don't turn, they stop dead and that club just flips right past them. If I stop turning, the club keeps going, and it's shutting when it does. Okay, we call it a stall. Let's talk turn versus shift. Getting the club through impact. Two main ways. You can shift to move the bottom of your arc ahead of the golf ball, ball then turf. Okay. You can also turn, and that will help as well. Combine them, hey, even mo better. Well, let's see if I can make some sense of this for you. On this one here, I'm just going to give myself a nice shift. All right, Dunigan, we're going to shift. Good posture. Let's do it. Okay, that was a very shifty golf swing. And in that swing, I hit 3.8 down on the golf ball. My low point was 2.8 inches after contact. That satisfies all the regulations for hitting the golf ball off every lie. If I'm hitting down 1 degree, boy, I'm going to have a war off anything other than a perfect lie or teed up lie in a par 3. If I'm hitting down 6 degrees, I better have a whole bunch of speed or I'm going to hit the ball too low to hold the green. I hope that's clear. So shifting toward the target in the transition clearly helped me move the low point forward. Let's take a look at turning. Turning, I'm 57 now. Not the easiest thing for me to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm not going to even concentrate on turning. I'm going to try to get my belt buckle or even my shirt buttons facing toward the target. When I'm shifting, I'm just pushing my shoe. I'm pushing off the ground, trying to scrape this carpet off the force plate, okay? I'm also leaning in. That's the shiftiness. But the turning one, I'm just going to try to get my shirt buttons and belt buckle open. And it looks like this. You would think that my shift, because it's part of the kinetic sequence, is probably built in. But I want to show you if I did anything different on those two, because it might be worth seeing. So let's look at the swing catalyst. The club head speed was almost the same. The carry was almost exactly the same. I just hit the same shot 2 balls in a row. Attack angle, 3.4 down. Low point, 2.7 inches after. These couldn't be much similar swings, these last two. Let's take a look. Look at my upper back, shoulder, legs. You can't see my left leg at all. And here, I rotated a bunch more. Okay, this is really kind of cool. You can see it from this view. And this is a description of, well, did he actually do anything different? And it's true that I did in both cases. My turn helped bring my arm in front of the golf ball. So my hands are out in front, club shaft leaning forward. And here's the thing though. This one here, very shifty. Now in neither case did I apply any lift. I'm just showing you shift versus turn. Okay, lift is another force in there, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Now that said, when we look at this and we look at stuff like the launch monitor, you can see 4-path, 3.8 attack angle with the shift. In this case, we could see a 2-path, 3.4 down. Hey, turning took some path away. Yep, the faster that you turn, when you look at this, folks, the faster you get your fine self turning, it brings the path of the club around to the left this way and keeps the face from closing. Right, when we look at both golf balls, let's see where they both went. All right, not sucky there. And, okay, this one did go 24 feet right, 158. Okay, the shifty one did go a little bit farther. 1 whole yard, folks, give me a break. It went offline 24 feet right. Well, the shift helped shove the path out to the right farther and the face too. Hey, if you're missing left a lot, you might want to consider putting a whole bunch of shift in there. And this one here, path to face, well, it was less. It was 1 degree difference. So the ball went mucho straighter. I'm hoping that you recall our chief job is ball impact. Remember, Dr. Kwan, ball impact is what he said. The universal truth about golf, ball impact. Well, you know how I like to look at it though. I'm not really trying to hit the golf ball. I'm trying to swing the golf club so that I bottom out in the right spot and collect the ball on the way to it. Okay, through the ball, through the circle of the swing even. So now we have recognized if you can turn, okay, and we don't know till we try. We don't know till we try. The problem is people are trying to do some really crazy stuff. Look, if you're trying to turn, okay, just get your belt buckle to the target. Just get your shirt buttons facing the target before you hear ball contact. See what happens. Now, sometimes we have to actually use the ground better to turn. So I will kind of get on my big toe, my left shoe almost, as the ball of the foot, but way out there toward the toes. And I will push myself backward like this. Okay, that's going to look like this. See if we can get even more. And this may kick in some of that vertical jump force. All right, here we go, John. Again, good posture as always. Well, that time you could see my foot move around quite a bunch. So you know that I got a whole bunch of different force there. Dunigan, are you saying that you could do a shift and lift? Well, I'll bet you could. So now, rather than using this in this fashion to spin off that plate, which, by the way, you got to try it. It works. It just works better for some people than others. But this one works just as often, which is at random. Got to test them. You got to test them. Okay, now I'm going to go shift lift. Now that's going to look different again. And the cool thing is, you know, using the swing catalyst, we can see if I did anything different. Not just by video, but by the forces. Now, a thing that may drive you nuts about old Dunigan is to look at this and go, wait a minute, this guy's out of his mind. I'm hitting the same damn shot. Is that crazy? 159, 157. Okay, fine. The ball flight's a similar way. And I'm doing something totally different. Look at the pressure under these feet. It's gone nuts. And this one, well, that's a shift and lift one. So we have two terribly different golf swings. Okay, they're at the top of the backswing. And you might see my left heel's up more. And I'm going to be pushing my left toes down this way as though I'm trying to scrape the plate this way. And that, dear readers, is going to help me really turn. That left leg's getting way behind the right leg. Well, isn't that cool? This guy over here is doing something totally different, like standing up more. But do not belittle this. This is an effective way to play golf, especially if you just had knee surgery done again and can't turn very well. I cannot push off my trail foot right now, folks. I can probably, but I'm scared to. So you're going to see the club come around me more on this move. This move here, what I was doing was giving it the shift, pulling the carpet this way, and then from there, in the left foot, pushing down hard on the plate, straight down vertically. That's going to look like this to make more sense. All right, let's see if we have different looks. So look at the kid come in. The body postures are different. I'm late with the turn, by the way, in this one. I'm late with the push off on both sides, but you can definitely see something different here versus here. Okay, let's take a look at that vertical force bit and see if we have any. Well, just to show you that golf is insane, I actually put more vertical force when I push that left foot down this way than when I just tried to jump up. That is a riot. Something happened in there. I love this, by the way. It's just so much fun. The guy looks almost the same here, but you can see he's turning more here versus here, right? So you would say, hey, this guy's going to hit it straighter than this guy. This guy's going to probably hook it. But as you saw from the ball flight, not so fast. And now here is radically different. This is the one, I think, in my case, when I get going that way too much and don't put the turn in, that's when I do miss left. Look how much the left-hander is rolled over, right over the left. I think that's from basically not turning as well. Even though when I turned better, my vertical force went up. We got to check this. What about the torque? So this one here, as you would guess, I put more torque by pushing that plate this way, straightening up, than this one, okay? And if we look at the shift force, very different motions, very similar shots. Hey, wait a minute. What if you said something like this? Dunigan, I get it. You want me to swing through, maybe even come from the inside of the golf ball. Yes, I would like that very much. Okay? A lot of that has to do with making a nice turn in the backswing. And then a lot of us from here, rather than shift at all, they turn the upper body. That's the end of your path. See that? That shoulder turn start down is bad news. This is why, in fact, this past weekend, I had a golfer who fixed his left path. Every shot was left, and his backswing was actually pretty darn good. All I did was get him to shift, and I told him, this is exactly what I said. You get back this way, I want you to keep your shirt buttons facing this wall and shift that belt out to the target as long as you can. And you know what happened? He went from doing this number. This is the normal club golfer. Yes, the normal club golfer is going here, spinning out. You'll see that real quick. Left-hand video, folks. Sweet golly. Oh, that's just awful. That's a normal golfer. But if you took that same golfer by putting the shift in there first, and it is the first in the kinetic sequence, right? If we went back here and I shifted first, well, you could see, did you see what that did to my body? Watch that body now. And when I went the longest shift and stayed turned the longest, the club path went out to 13 degrees to the right. So by going this way, the path goes instantly hard left. By staying here, shifting this way, the longest, it goes extraordinarily out to the right. I want it known. I believe that in the large, vast majority, the great players in the world, they get back on the backswing, they shift before they start turning the hips. Shift, turn, shift, turn, shift, turn. Boy, that'd be worthwhile. My knee doesn't like that one, so I'm going to stop that. The thing is, most people don't practice correctly. They just make the same mistakes because they don't pay attention to what they're doing. Well, make it gross if you have to. Simplify the test. Slow it down. Hold these shoulders back this way. There's a shift, and then swing. And you'll see, you can see my knee didn't like that one at all. you can do something different. You just can't do it different at full speed necessarily yet, but build your way up. But wait, let's go the simplest. Hey, Dunigan, why don't you just let me try to get the club to land on this side of the golf ball? Fine. That would be lovely. If you would do that and make sure that you can see the blur of this club head, make sure that you're to the side of the golf ball enough so that you don't accidentally hit it, and watch the blur to make sure it's not getting outside, so it's staying inside slightly, and then bottom out here and have a little guesswork with yourself. Ooh, that was out in front. Okay, here. That was out in front too. Shift more. That's out in front. Shift and turn. Oh my goodness, look at how far out in front that is. Now go, you know what? I'm just going to bottom out and let my body do what it needs to comply with my wishes, which is to get this bottom of the swing way out in front. All right, the most out in front you can get it done again. Here we go. I shanked it. Even the coach messes up. Here we go. All right, you got it. All right, low point, 3.5 after. Oh, the kid is moving though. Come on, Doug, give me a 6-inch after. Way out there this time, Big Daddy. .3. Maybe the kid is maxed out on how far he can get it forward. One more try. Go crazy. You know what? I'm going to put the ball out here, way out in front of me. Now I'm going to have to run after this damn thing to go get it. Might pull this left of the whole world. Oh, I still hit that solid. How did I hit 4 inches after ball cut with the ball that far out in front. Well, now you can see that I'm kind of maybe using a little bit of how to do it. We started with that, but perhaps we go with what to do. And this is where the magic is. Now, don't forget, I have been playing golf forever. I know how to square the club face. And that, I'm telling you, is the biggest thing. So I'm going to leave you with this. The best players, they have a way of holding a golf club that works for them. If I turn either hand to the right more on this, so my glove lobe goes up more, it helps me close the face more. Either hand or both hands. And the opposite is true. Either hand turns to the left too far. Now, if you have either hand turned to the left too far and you keep slicing it, for crying out loud, fix that grip. That's the easiest place. The next easiest place is on the way back and the top of the backswing. If you have to work that face more closed or slightly more open, well, to be quite honest, if I had to open it, I would do it down here with the grip. I would not mess with opening that face on the way back. I really wouldn't. Some of you might be closing it real early like this, but I just don't see that maintained throughout the golf swing. I never see somebody get a decent grip, shut it here this way, because I can do that for you. By the time it gets up here, it's going where the grip wants it to go, unless you do something with your wrist angles. Whew. So, holy crap, that's a lot of stuff. Let's put it this way. Let's make sense of the golf swing. You've got a setup. That includes the grip and the ball position. Look it. If you're having trouble hitting the ball solidly and you're hitting behind it all the time and you had to move the ball back in your stance, you can do that. But you have to match up the club face with that. So in order of importance, if you've got the ball strike, you've got to get to the club face. If you don't have the ball strike, sometimes your club face is getting out of whack at the top and that destroys you. And I've seen that work with people who do have a really strong grip turned way to the right. They close the face too much in their brain, automatically go swing way out to the right, and then they hit fat shots because of that. Likewise, I've seen people with weak neutral grips or bad wrist motion get the face wide open, and then they do really neat stuff like everything stops dead while they try to flip it late. Well, folks, the pros are taking care of the face way, way earlier. They've got a grip that works for them, and they're squaring the face up here and maybe right in the first foot or so of the downswing. All right? The amateurs are saving it down here, which is a fool's errand. The pros are doing it early. Really, really important. And the pros transition extremely well. So they've got the face. Wait a minute. If I don't have the face, I have to alter my transition to give myself a chance to square the face. Get it? So it's all related. And it's funny how your brain will take care of business for you if you set up the conditions that it can succeed in. When you set up the conditions, crazy open face, bad grip, no shift, no turn, right? Your brain's going to still try to solve the problem for you the best way it possibly can. That's what it does. So what I need you to do, what you need you to do is make sure grip, club face, wind up of the body and club face, transition, and whether you shift and hit or turn and hit or some variation, shift and turn, get that divot out in front. Maybe before you even think about how to do it, maybe you just go like I did at the end. Go out there, baby. Out there. Out there. And you don't even know how you do it. Maybe you do some of these right hand onlys. Look at that guy go. Look at how far out in front that divot is. 2 hands. Out there. Oh my goodness. You can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. I would say this. My advantage over you in golf, not talent, patience. The patient way, learn it as slow as you must until you can do it and then go a little faster, progression. That's what I have in my back pocket at all times. I know how to learn stuff, and I hope that this helps you know the same. Get after it.